Hello everyone and welcome to my HTML and CSS tutorial series for beginners. In this video, we'll be looking at how to download an IDE and run our first HTML program. So before we start, I just want to explain what an IDE is. So an IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. This is where you can write all your code and execute it. So the first step is to go on a web browser and search up an IDE, which I really prefer, called Visual Studio Code. Over here, click on the link that says Visual Studio Code, Code Editing Redefined. And you can just click on this download link for your computer, and VS Code will be downloaded onto your computer. So this will just take a few seconds until VS Code is just downloaded and installed onto your computer. Alright, so VS Code has been downloaded onto my computer, so I'm just going to open this up. And so when you open it up, you'll see this installer. And so accept the agreement, click next, add a desktop icon, click next, and install VS Code onto your computer. Alright, so VS Code has been installed onto my computer. So I'm going to launch Visual Studio Code. I'm going to finish this. And Visual Studio Code should look something like this when you open it up. So the first step is actually to go to File, and you need to open a folder. And I'm actually going to make this new folder in my desktop. And I'm going to create this new folder. I'm going to be naming this folder as my web page. I'm going to select this folder. And so inside this folder, I want to create a new file. And I'm just going to be naming this as index.html. So before we start coding or anything, I just want to explain you guys what HTML is used for and just basically basic info about HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This is used for front-end development, or also known as basically what you see on the screen in a web page. That is what HTML is used for. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a simple tag right here, and it's just going to be a lesser than sign, exclamation mark, all in caps. I want you to type doc type, and over here, type in HTML, all in lowercase, and close the tag with a greater than sign. So all this is saying is it's a document type of HTML5. So I'm just going to click enter, and over here, just put the same exact tag, this greater than sign, HTML, and then close it. So as you can see, the first line doesn't really look like the second line, as I mean that this has two tags. So what we call this is, we call this one a starting tag, and we call this one an ending tag. So in HTML, that is actually what we call this. This tag actually doesn't have an ending tag because it's the beginning. So doctype HTML will actually not have an ending tag, but all the other tags after that will have a starting and an ending tag. So click enter between the two HTML tags and type in this tag called a head tag. So a head tag is basically what you see on top of your web page. So basically on the tab, you have your title, and then you have the small icon. So for my web page, I'm actually just going to add a title. And how you do that is really simple. You just do the same exact format, but inside of the tags, you gotta write title and title. And in between these two title tags, you can write anything you want for your title. I'm just gonna say my web page, right? So I'm not gonna run this just yet because I have some more tags to introduce to you. So the next tag, which we have, is called a body tag. So all you need to do is the same format, except you just write body, and VS Code just takes the ending for you. It just fills the ending for you. Click enter, and over here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a tag called an H1 tag. So an H1 tag, which we will be going over in the next video more and more like in depth, is basically like bold text. So there's like 6 variations of these tags, H1 through H6, H1 being the biggest and H6 being the smallest. So over here, what we're going to write is we are going to write simple hello world and exclamation mark. Alright, so this is just the basic HTML structure of just executing a web page. So we just made some code, we just wrote some code down. How do we execute it? So basically, VS Code actually has this really nice extension. So all you need to do is go to this extensions page. And right over here, you just need to search up this extension called Live Server. And then click this live server right here by Ritwick Day and just install it. Now also, and a really important part about this is that you have to have a folder for this to work. Like your index.html must be in a folder for this to work. You cannot create a HTML file and expect this to work without having it inside of a folder. That is why I created a folder in the beginning. So after this installs, just go back to your file and go to this file explorer and just right click on the file and you can see this option called open with live server. Click on this and your HTML file will be opened in a live server like this. So just to show you guys that it actually is a live server, I'm just gonna go back, and so over here I'm just going to do this just to see the quick reaction. And so over here I'm just going to type in hello world, and as you can see, right when I save this, the title right here will change into hello world. Just watch. Save. You see, it just reloads itself and it changed itself into hello world. So that's why live server is really nice. And so this was all we will do in this video, just downloading VS Code and just executing our first HTML program while installing live server just to make it much easier. In the next video, we'll actually be going over all the H1 through H6 tags and see like what benefits each of them have and like the differences in each of them. So see you guys in the next video.